Srila Prabhupada called San Francisco New Jagannath Puri. So devotees would come from all over the world to attend the Rath Yatra because Srila Prabhupada was there in attendance. There was no Rath Yatras in Australia or Tokyo or Los Angeles, New York, so people would come from all over the world. And so it was a great, occasion for the devotees to come together and celebrate that festival with Srila Prabhupada. Yeah, this is in front of the 518 Frederick Street. This is right on the sidewalk in front of Frederick Street. Devotees painting the canopy and upholstering the asans. This was the biggest festival that was ever held in ISKCON in the early days, 1970 Rath Yatra. It was like this monster. Out of this little storefront, we created this huge publicity campaign, and we mobilized the whole city of San Francisco.
All of this happened, all these three huge Rath carts, all generated out of this little teeny San Francisco center. You really couldn't call it a temple. It was just a storefront. It was teeny. Imagine the energy and there was no consideration of yourself. You just never thought about yourself. Oh, I'm tired. Oh, I'm wet. Oh, I'm cold. You just got on with it. You couldn't disappoint Prabhupada.
At the time I was new devotee, been a devotee about 4 months. Of course, had been hearing Prabhupada's lectures and reading his books and listening to some of the recordings, and there was a lot of anticipation about Rath Yatra in general, but the airport. We went to the airport to greet him. There was just so many devotees there, and we were just having this huge kirtan, waiting for Prabhupada to come.
I had joined in '69 at 518 Frederick Street, but I couldn't stay because I was a Canadian. So I went back up to Canada and moved into the temple in Vancouver, and I stayed there for 6 months. We came down for Rath Yatra, and by that time I was really psyched up. You're meeting the spiritual master of the universe. You've been wandering throughout the universe for millions of lifetimes. Now, with this meeting, your karma, everything is going to be relieved. So I was quite excited.
We're waiting for the plane to come in, and Prabhupada was coming off the plane, and he was walking up. It seemed like to me he was by himself. Maybe there were some devotees in the background, but the image I have is Prabhupada was walking up this plank, and he had this very innocent expression. I had never really seen a person exemplify that kind of humility before, because he was walking up and he had this expression as if to turn around and see who everyone had come to meet.
But I got all the temple presidents to spend like $100 each and buy these white gardenias, those big, beautiful, highly scented gardenias. Each president stepped forward and gave him a huge white gardenia, just covered with gardenias.
His eyes were very penetrating, something about his eyes. It seems like Krishna Bhakti comes from his eyes or something, but just for a second feeling his glance and just feeling the depth of that glance and the intensity of emotion that everyone felt. We were just caught up, and everyone around me and myself, tears were just coming from our eyes, and just seeing a person who had characteristics that I'd never experienced before, and feeling the intensity of the kirtan, and it was very moving to this day.
We used to be able to do that. Go into an airport and just rock it down, Everything was for Prabhupada. We didn't know anything else. We didn't know anyone else. We were like clean slates. He taught us everything. We had no outside influence. Look at that. He's dancing right in the airport. Why? Because he got a wonderful welcome, and the devotees were so enthusiastic.